Hi guys, and welcome back. So I asked y'all on Instagram about questions that you have for me, and I'm going to be answering them today as I get ready. Okay, so the first question is, how is my family able to live abroad? By the way, I'm going to be prepping my skin. I use these Torridon pads. Yeah, I like toner pads over normal toner because it's just so much easier. Like, it's already here and you just wipe your face. Even though my ethnicity is Indonesian, like, I was born and raised here, and my parents, they didn't meet when they were in Indonesia. Like, they met when they came to America, and yeah, they met as students. Second question is, what's a culture shock when you move to London? So if you guys don't know, I studied abroad in London for the past 3 years. Now I've moved back home, back in the US. I didn't really have much of a culture shock. There were things I did miss though, like having a dryer when you're doing laundry is not normal. Like, I air dried everything, which, by the way, low-key is better, even though it's kind of annoying to wait for your clothes to dry. It's so much better because it doesn't damage your clothes at all. I feel like London is still very Western as like the US, so there's not too many differences. Do you have any Arab ancestry? Yes, kind of. Well, I wouldn't consider myself Arab, but my mom is like Jamburan, aka mixed with Arab. Guys, I totally forgot that I actually did a DNA test and found out like what percentage of ethnicities I am, and I'm like a third Chinese and a good mixture of like North African, but let me just like post the results on here as well. I wouldn't claim that as my culture though. Like, my family from my mom's side, they look very Yemeni, but we're still Indonesian, if that makes sense. Those are Haru Haru Wonder, Black Rice Moisture Airy Fit Daily Sunscreen. Bro, try saying that 10 times fast. Anyways, the most important part is you get a sunscreen, any sunscreen that works for your skin, and it's SPF 50 at least. Would you rather marry somebody who's Indonesian or somebody else? My preference is, I don't really have a preference for any specific type of race as long as you're Muslim, but it would be nice to have somebody Indonesian, not necessarily from Indonesia, but what I mean is, like, I want somebody who's Indonesian that grew up in a Western country so that they kind of get who I am, because as much as I like claim being Indonesian, like, I feel like I could be more Indonesian, I could be more cultured. So having somebody who like also is Indonesian but grew up here and gets like the differences would be great. But if not, it doesn't even have to be Indonesian. It literally could be whoever, as long as you fit my high standards. No, I'm just kidding. Literally only use Canmake's Creamy Touch liner, and either I use it in black, medium brown, or dark brown. Today I am gonna use medium brown, shade number 2. So I kind of just do a wing and then I line just the top line. Can you speak Indonesian well? Mashallah, you're so pretty. Thank you. My bahasa is quite trash. Bisa ngomong sih, tapi kalau kayak harus respond to somebody else, your girl gotta think about it first. My parents used to speak Indonesian at home to me and my brother is younger than me. And my brother, like, he was like 3 years old and he like didn't talk at all, and that's because he got confused by me speaking English and my parents speaking Indonesian. And when my parents brought him to the doctor, they were like, you guys need to stick to one language because this child is confused. So since then they just spoke English, and they never really encouraged us to speak Indonesian. Like, we fully understand, by the way. I mean, now my parents, they speak Indonesian to us obviously, but it's so hard to do at the same time while talking. What do you recommend for beginners who don't have experience with makeup but want to wear it now? Hello, why is it so loud? Guys, I live on the main street, so just ignore the noise. I am 22 years old now, and I did not wear makeup until like COVID time, which was like nearing like halfway through my senior year. I'm glad I didn't wear makeup at all because I know I would look back at the pictures and cringe really badly, and I'm so glad it was during COVID where I was able to do like trial and error of like finding my own makeup style. Like, I started off with really colorful eyeshadow looks, kind of like 2016 vibes, but like not really. I was obsessed with the James Charles palette. Guys, the James Charles palette, I can't lie, is pretty solid. I don't get good at makeup right away. At least speaking on like a personal level, it takes a while. Like I feel like I didn't find my regular makeup style until like maybe last year, and I find that I basically just like doing a wing, a little bit of blush, and then mascara and call it a day. Like I just like it that way. Now for my blush, I've been using this Jelly Dough blusher from Holika. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it comes with like this little puff. I don't really like using this, to be honest, but it's so good. I'm almost hitting pan. I just go in with this brush. So advice that I'd give for somebody who's struggling with confidence is very cliche. I struggled with self-confidence so bad when I was in high school for a lot of different reasons. Like I'm not gonna get into it too much, but basically, like, to sum it up, I was like the only person of color, only hijabi. Well, I was like one of like maybe 3 or 4 people of color, and the only hijabi in a white dominated high school. So you can imagine, yeah, you can just imagine. But like once I got out of high school, I moved to London and really got to get to know myself more. Like, to me, it's like, why live my life constantly worrying about what other people think of me when I'm having the greatest time, like doing things on my own, with my friends, with my family, like just living life as me, and I'm caring about what other people think. Like, what's the fun in that, you know what I mean? Because I'm an oily gal, I'm gonna be going in with the Huda Beauty setting powder. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Okay, Sam is getting deep. Ever since like I graduated, like this post-grad life has been hitting me hard. Again, this goes back to the whole self-confidence thing. Like it also hit me a lot comparing myself to other people. Like especially post-grad, like, oh, other people secured jobs like for post-grad and I didn't, and I still haven't. But it's like now, like after a few months of post-graduation and being unemployed, like everything like is really like Allah's plan. Like Allah has a plan for you, and if I don't have a job right now, and I am obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and do nothing, but if I'm working hard to like work towards something I want and I'm not getting it now, maybe it's not meant to be, or it's just not meant to be now. But I was stressed about it in the beginning, but now it's like, you know, I'm still trying to be content about my life right now. But ideally, I've realized that I am not meant to be working for somebody else. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like sitting in an office 9 to 5, just sitting there typing away. No, I'm so sorry, I don't see that for myself. I really want to do something with social media, whether that be like social media manager or like creating videos for other people. Also my dream for the longest time is to have my own clothing line, so we'll see, inshallah. Where do you get your fashion inspiration from? I get inspiration from other like hijabis online, like other hijabi influencers. And for me, like the OG hijabi influencer I've been following for the longest time is Nawal Sari. Like ever since like her bandana over the hijab era, I've been sold. She is like one of those, I feel like now there's a lot of influencers, and I'm not just talking about hijabi influencers, where like people, it's literally copy and paste, and honestly sometimes I feel like I kind of fall into that and I'm trying not to. But with Nawal Sari, I feel like she's been true to herself since day one. Like she's always been different to me compared to like the other hijabi influencers, which is really cool. Also recently I've been really into, I think her name's Umayma, and she's from France. She's so cool. We're mutuals. She probably thinks I'm a creep, but mascara is a Judy Doll curling iron mascara per usual, and the best eyelash curler of all time from Shiseido. I did think about it at one point, but it is just so hot. The jobs there just don't pay well, like in America or like in London. unless I were to work for like an American company, which I would be so down to do, but is kind of hard unless you guys, you know, want to link me up with a job. I love Indonesia so much, y'all. Like, I go like once every other year and I just have the time of my life there. Like, the social life, all the halal food, the shopping, like, it's honestly great. Do you think that being a cheapskate is useful when living abroad? I think it's 50-50. Personally, when I lived in London, I was doing the most, guys. I was doing the most, and if you have kept up with me since first year of uni, I was traveling to a different country like every other weekend just because it was so cheap. And in my head, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be spending £50 anyways in London. Why don't I spend that abroad? But at the same time, traveling as often as I did adds up so fast. So I do think it's useful, but at the same time, you don't want to be so cheap to the point where you're not enjoying your time abroad. So I think it's important to have that balance. Ooh, okay, this one's a good one. Do you think content creating or influencing has clashed with Dean, and if so, how? This is something I have been struggling with a lot for the past couple months. There are some things where I know I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, like throwing in music or something like that. But then there is something that's like, okay, like I do love creating videos and I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but I can see where people might have issues with that, and not just, and I'm not doing this for other people. Like, I genuinely love making videos, but like I know I shouldn't be like promoting music and things like that. So that's something I struggle with. There's also times where like I've had so many messages of people being like, oh my god, I'm not a hijabi, but you're making me inspired to become a hijabi. Or I've had like a few, like handful of people be like, you're actually the reason why I put hijab on. So it's like moments like that, it's like, wow, like I'm also kind of spreading Deen at the same time, and like making full coverage of like hijab videos and stuff like that. Like, people benefit from that as well. So I do think that sometimes social media is beneficial, but I think, again, I'm gonna keep saying this like for anything, but there is a balance. So yeah. Lastly, I go with this NARS, what is this even called? Hello, I'm pretty sure it's like one of those like melting lip balms, something like that, but it's in the color Show Off. This is such a nice formula. Let me show you guys. It looks so nice. You can build it up or have it like as sheer as you want, which is really nice. Wait, let me show you guys in the light. Like, look at that. But yeah, here is my final look. Okay, I feel like I did build it up a little too much. It's looking really red. But anyways, she's still cute. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in another video.